Yesterday, I finished the complete first season of Marvel and Netflix's hit new series Iron Fist. I guess I shouldn't say hit, new series, because it's just a new series. Is it a hit? I don't know. There's been a lot of controversy about the show. I'm not going to say it's a hit. I'm going to take that back. I watched the new series from Marvel and Netflix, Iron Fist. First season, I'm going to talk about it really quickly. I'm not going to go. This is not a spoilers review if you have not seen the show. I will not spoil any of the characters, any of the reveals, or any of the story elements that could be considered spoilers. I'm going to talk about a few things I think that should be noted. So, right away, this show is not as bad as people have perceived it online. The critics slamming it, giving it such bad reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. And I understand the angle they're coming from. I think it's a stupid angle, though. They do not like the aspect that he's not an Asian American character. I get it. I understand you don't like that, and I had another video talking about it, responding to the criticism. Go look that up. But getting away from that, and that, I think this show is good. It's not great. It's at best really decent. It's really decent. It's probably, out of the 4 shows Marvel's done on Netflix, it's probably the weakest show. Which is saying a lot because I'm a huge fan of Iron Fist. Out of all these characters, he is my favorite. I love everything he's done in the comics. He's a character I really relate to, I really understand, and I really like. But the portrayal of some of the things in this show bothered me. I didn't understand a few of the elements. First thing that really bothered me was the world. And what I mean by the world is how they put the world into this. I get we're going for this more street level feel. We're trying to make it feel like more like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, but that's not who Iron Fist is. I wish we saw more of the mysticism, more of Kunlun, more of the fantasy elements, the mystical elements of this series because we missed that in this show heavily. I'm not going to spoil the things we saw or any of that. But something I really like about Iron Fist is you see this other level to him of the outsider in Kunlun, how he's different from all these other people in there, and all that. We see Danny act like he knows a lot of stuff about Kung Fu and Buddhism and all these things, but we don't have the feel of that in the world. We're just in New York again, and I really wish we had more of this fantasy element, this mystical element to the series, because that was really lacking, and that's a big part of the character. But I will say the character of Danny Rand was really good. I think you could have portrayed this character in a different way. I would have liked it. I wish he was a little different in a few aspects, but I understand the angle they were going for with Danny Rand here. He's coming back into this world after 15 years when he was 10. And now that he's back, he's still young at heart. He doesn't understand the way of the world, so they portrayed him as this innocent, naive guy who's trying to figure out how to talk to people, understand how the world works now. And I get that. I understood that's why his character had to act like that. I get the way that was implemented. I think Finn Jones did a really good job portraying that. But I understand that we had to do that. I wish he was a little more brave and tough and just a little more resilient. And he gets there at the end. There's a lot of stuff near the end where his character really comes into full and we see the development. But at the beginning, it's a hard watch for some of these reasons, and it's a slow burn at the beginning. This is a really slow, it's a deliberately paced, a lot of stuff about this where you just feel something's got to happen, and it doesn't for a while. It's hard to watch. The first couple episodes are really boring, they're really slow, but it picks up near the end, but it doesn't pick up as much as I want it to. And I get it, this is the first season. The first season of a lot of the other shows, they have been kind of slow too, but we're always going to pick it up with the next one because we already established ourselves in this world, so I can understand that. But this one seemed just slower than most of the other ones I've seen. So, I'll talk a little bit about the individual characters and things I liked about them. One of the things that really kind of stuck out to me right away was the dialogue. And I'm a huge fan of writing. I like screenplays, I like reading them. Something about the dialogue in this series just felt a little cookie cutter. It just felt a little formulaic for me. The things that were said, the way people acted, and I get it. Sometimes you have to go by the book before you can do something new and original, but they've established this world on Netflix where we have new and original things happening, and I wish some more stuff happened that was original, but I get it. You're trying to set up the world of Iron Fist and these characters, and sometimes just the way people said things or the delivery, it just felt underwhelming. It didn't feel like it was important, and it wasn't all the time. There's definitely times where where what happened mattered and all that, but sometimes you just feel like that was so obvious they were going to say that, or the dialogue delivery was just slow and boring because it doesn't mean anything. But the times where they have to do exposition, there's a lot of good stuff, and sometimes it just goes back and forth for me, just how it goes. So the characters, I already talked about Danny Rand. He was really good, really fun, really nice character, different from everything we've seen. He's nice, he's an actual person, he's happy, he's human, and I like that because he's not so like angsty like we see of a lot of the other characters in the Netflix stuff. The character I really liked the most was Colleen Wing. I think she did fantastic. The character just had this way about her where she just felt real and fleshed out without having to get into her background or anything like that. I really liked her character. She's the best part of this. The actress did incredible. She's really talented. I love her as the side character, and I have an idea that if we get more of these series, more of these Netflix and Marvel stuff, I want to see her and Misty Knight come together for a Daughters of the Dragon series. I think that'd be incredible. It'd be really fun to watch, and I really think that'd be just really good. So Colleen Wing, she was the best character, best standout, the best actress. I loved everything she did. And then we get into two controversial characters and it's not that the characters are bad, I understood their purpose in the series. That is Joy and Ward Meacham. I don't know how I felt about it. At the beginning of the series, I definitely gravitated to Joy Meacham more. I think her character was better. Become the end of the series, I think Ward was the standout. I have to give credit to the actor that's playing Ward because this character could have easily gone bad and just be stereotyped, this kind of gruff guy who doesn't like talking. He's really antisocial, like really monotone voice. But the way he portrays a lot of the things and some of the things that happened to his character throughout the series, Ward instantly became somebody I was rooting for, more so than a few of the other guys. I think out of all the Meacham family members in the show, I think Ward was the best. He really came around in the end, and when it all was over, I think Ward was the one we're going to care about the most. I didn't hate Joy. I think Joy was a little bit underutilized at some point. She just became a character who was there, and at the beginning, I liked her and her relationship with Danny, but come later, it just became too little. Nothing happened with her, and I don't want to see her come back. To say that, I don't think she deserves to come back. I don't think she needs to come back. And then we have Harold Meacham. There's a lot of Harold Meacham in this show, and I think it's kind of obvious if you know the backstory of Iron Fist and all that. He's kind of portrayed as the antagonist, and he did a really good job. The actor played Faramir in Lord of the Rings. He is a good actor. He portrayed the character really well. I liked everything he did. There's just a few story elements that we can talk, maybe later I'll talk about it in a spoiler review. I don't know. But a lot of stuff with him was good. He was a good villain, a good character, fleshed out, and a bunch of stuff like that. I really liked him. And then Madame Gao, she just did incredible. I love that actress. I think she's going to be the Crane Mother. They didn't confirm that, they didn't deny that, so that's okay. And of course, Claire Temple is back. Yes, Rosario Dawson in this one too. I can't even say anything bad about Rosario Dawson because Claire Temple is just the best character in these series. She just stands out in all of them. There are references to Luke Cage in the series, that's not a spoiler. And there's a few things that I'm like, that's really cool. So Rosario Dawson, Claire Temple, she is amazing, and she wore a lot of short shorts. Let's just put it that way. She wore a lot of short shorts, and that's never a problem. So, I don't know what else I can say really, but it's really cookie cutter. It's still a good series, and wait, yeah, I have something else I can talk about, is the action. Now, the action, I was really excited for. We're going to get some old kung fu style martial arts like those old movies back in the day, but the action really bothered me sometimes. It felt too shaky cam, it didn't have like this feel of it where you can see the full body and all that, and that was kind of a problem for me because I was really expecting to see this like really grounded steady camera shots of a bunch of things, and we get some of that sometimes, but the action, it was too jumbled up, too much happening, and I don't know, sometimes it bothered me. It looked really good other times. Sometimes you can just tell like, oh, it's just generic action looking. But the story was decent. I still think this is a really good show. I think you should go check it out, watch it, binge it, don't listen to the bad reviews. It's still a really good show, but there are some elements in there that are just weaker compared to other things we've seen. And I think one thing that really bothered me, and this isn't something that, it's not like a big thing that bothered me, but the way they portrayed the Iron Fist itself, like the Iron Fist on Danny Rand's fist, sometimes I just wish it was more, because it doesn't look like a lot when you see it. And I know they're trying to do something more realistic, but at other times, you're doing a character who has to punch the heart out of a dragon in order to get his ability. You left realism like a mile back. So go all for it. Let's see the flames coming off of his fist. Let's see the full thing in a yellow color fire and just go crazy. I don't want to see the realism when you're doing something like that. Go all for it and don't puss out at the last minute. So overall, I'm going to give Marvel's Iron Fist Season 1 a 79%. It's good. It's not the best thing Netflix has put out. It's not the worst. I still think you should go check it out. You're going to like it enough. You're going to like it a lot. It's good. I don't think it's bad at all. It's really good. So that's going to do it for me. If you have any thoughts on your own, let me know, and we'll talk Iron Fist again. So good luck.